I'm making a video about how to power level because I've seen a lot of people asking, hey, I'm power level 1570 and I'm doing all these activities and nothing is leveling me up. Or I've completed the missions that give powerful gear, and I did powerful gear tier 3 and it didn't give me anything. Well, yeah, because Destiny doesn't like to tell you how you're supposed to level up in the game. They basically just expect you to go on the internet and find out for yourself and try and understand the numbers game that is going on here, because I don't know why, but it's for me, I like to kind of nerd out on these games anyways. I'm into like optimization and the logic and the mechanics, and like I like to understand the AI and how everything works. So for me, I actually kind of enjoyed figuring it out, but I could see how the majority of people would be frustrated by this greatly. Like it would turn them off from the game completely. So this is just kind of a quick video on my understanding of it and how I'd explain it and what you can do to actually level up. So once you hit 1570, the game considers you at a soft cap as far as this season goes. The hard cap is 1580. So once you get to 1570, powerful gear is only going to drop at your maximum average gear level. So say you have all your slots, you have 8 slots, you have 3 weapons, you have 5 armor slots, that's 8. Say every single piece of gear that you have is 1570. They don't have to be equipped, they don't even have to be on your character, they can be in your vault, they can be wherever. The game knows that your maximum power level gear and weapons is 1570 in every slot. So in that case, powerful gear that you get, so you go into the game and you see this little yellow star here, wherever. So let's open up the seasonal activities, for example. Oh, I could do expedition. I get powerful gear tier 2. No way. That's awesome. Well, guess what it's going to drop for you? It's going to give you a piece of gear at 1570. The same power level that you're at. So you're not leveling up at all. So it's really not powerful gear. It's just equal gear. So yeah, it's pointless. What you need to do is you need to get Pinnacle Gear. Pinnacle will raise your level by 1 or 2 depending on the activity. Most activities give you +2 Pinnacles. There's only a few activities, like if you do your 3 Vanguard ops, that'll give you a +1 Pinnacle. So right here, Pinnacle Gear. It doesn't even say +1, but the community has figured this out for themselves. So you do those 3, you get a +1 Pinnacle. So now you've got a piece of gear that's 1571. Alright, you're starting to level up. But your average maximum power level is still 1570, right? Because if you've got 7 pieces at 1570 and 1 at 1571, you're 1570 and 1/8. Like, you're just slowly getting up to 1571. In order for powerful gear to drop at 1571, all your pieces need to be at 1571, or the average needs to be at 1571. So like you can have a piece of gear at 1574, and you can have a piece of gear at 1566. It takes the average, which in that case is 1570. But that's neither here nor there. How do you raise your power level up quickly and efficiently? Well, don't waste your time doing powerful gear when you're above 1570, unless you really want to min-max numbers. So I mean, I'm not saying powerful gear is completely useless. Let me take you over to my other screen here and I can show you what I mean. So if you open up dim, this is really the only place you can see what I'm talking about. Hover over these numbers here. Your maximum power of all gear, it says. So for my Titan, I'm max level. I'm 1580 on every slot. All 8 of them are 1580. Hunter, same thing. Warlock. Oh, my helmet is 1579. So can I just go and do a powerful gear grind on my Warlock and get a 1580? If I'm lucky, I'll get a helmet that's 50. No, it's only going to give me 1579. The game doesn't round up. So even though it's 1579 and 7/8, it's going to consider all powerful gear at 1579. That includes prime engrams, that includes exotic engrams from lost sectors. No matter what, I'm not raising my power up to 1580 unless I go and do a pinnacle. Minimum of +1 pinnacle. So I still need to do that. But a lot of times you'll see, and you can click on this and it'll show you the items in case you don't know. You don't have to have them equipped for the game to know what level your maximum level is. It's irrelevant. You can put on gear in the 1300s, weapons and armor, and then go do activities where you get Pinnacle Gear, and it's still going to consider your 1579. It's not going to, it just ignores whatever you're wearing. So it's pretty complex. It's kind of redundant, and it's non-informative, but that's why I'm making this video, to hopefully help some people out. Anyway, so as you're progressing from 1570 to 1580, you'll see that a lot of the slots will be lagging behind. So you just don't have good RNG, and you just can't get a helmet for the life of you, but everything else is like way above that. Well, it'll be a red number here on dim. It'll be a negative red number. So it could be like -3 or whatever. If you have like 3-4 numbers that are lagging behind, 3-4 slots that are behind your maximum average power level, then yeah, you can go and grind powerful gear, and then it'll raise everything up. So that's when you want to do powerful gear. If you're really trying to min-max, it's to bring everything up to your maximum power level. But 1579 is not going to help me out at all. So I don't need powerfuls, I don't need primes, I don't need exotics as far as leveling up. What I need is pinnacles. So what pinnacles do I do? Well, as you were able to see in the game, let me switch back over. What happened to my... Okay. So I do pinnacles. I like to do the harder stuff. It gives better rewards. I usually start with Throne World stuff. If you own the Witch Queen, this is a great place to go and do your pinnacles. I usually come and do the weekly mission, hop in LFG fire team, or I try and solo it. If you've seen any of my content on my channel, I do solo flawless runs for the weekly Witch Queen missions. But yeah, if I'm just trying to power level and get it done quickly, I'll just join a fire team, and yeah. So you get a chance at high stat armor, you get a chance at Ascendant Alloy. In my experience, it's about a 50% chance or so, especially on your first run per character. And if you complete it with a score of over 100,000, you get a pinnacle reward at +2. I enjoy doing it, so yeah, I do it on all 3 characters usually. Master Wellspring, same thing. I like that activity. I like doing it on Master. It's a challenge. You got some champions to deal with. Fire team of 6. It's not hard to do on LFG at all. You don't even have... Nobody talks. Like, you don't need a mic or anything. You just join up and show up with some champion mods, and people will be happy enough. They're not even going to say anything most of the time. But yeah, same thing. It gives you high stat armor, gives you Ascendant Alloy, gives you a +2 pinnacle once per week, and it gives you the wellspring weapons, which you can craft. So today has come to pass. It's a great assault rifle. You can go and get it if you don't have it yet, especially with all the arc synergy this season and arc burn on nightfalls. So I do those two. Sometimes I'll do the 3 Vanguard ops, not all the time. I like to rank up my rank with Zavala just so that I can get the Ascendant Shard on the first reset and the exotic and the ritual weapon for the season. So as long as I'm ranking up one of the ritual playlists, then you get the ritual weapon. So I do that, and you get a +1 pinnacle. But I don't really have a lot of fun doing them. They're a bit too easy. I like the Nightfalls because you can do them on Legend or Master difficulty and challenge yourself, or even Grandmasters, which just started today. That gives you a +2 pinnacle if you get a score of 100k. Simultaneously, it gives you a powerful gear drop. So you get 2 drops just from doing 1 Nightfall at 100k. And then the other things I do, Master Catch Crash, seasonal. Yeah, there's Expedition, but that only gives you powerful tier 2, and I haven't once tried to grind 125 treasures. Usually I do the minimum required for Expedition. Like, you start the seasonal quest, it tells you to go do an Expedition, go do a Catch Crash. I do 1 Expedition. Usually this bar is filled out to like 30 out of 125, and I don't care about getting the powerful gear tier 2. If you're under power level 1570, if you're like new to the game and severely under power, go for these powerfuls all day, because they actually raise your power up until you hit that level, that soft cap of 1570. That's when the dynamic changes. Before 1570, powerful gears, you can definitely do them. But yeah, so I do Master Catch. That gives a pinnacle. Also gives Ascendant Alloy, high stat armor. You get your chance. You get seasonal weapons with the chance of getting red borders, which is another thing I grind for while I'm doing my pinnacles. I'm trying to get as many red borders as I can to craft all the weapons from the season, from the raids, etc. I always hop over to Dares of Eternity. If you do 1 completion at 250,000, you get a pinnacle drop. And if you go to Zur's Treasure Hoard, speak to Star Horse, pick up the weekly bounty, which requires you to get a score of 300k, and you just use like whatever weapon Star Horse wants you to use. You get that bounty done at the same time as doing the pinnacle. So I usually start an LFG. I just say Dares Legend 300k, and 9 times out of 10, it happens with LFG and nobody's on mic. It's pretty easy. And the Dares weapons are craftable this season. They've got origin traits, so I try to do them as much as I can. I usually at least once per character per week, so that I can get my pinnacles and get my red borders. You could also do Duality. Duality's fairly quick, and a lot of times people don't go on mic for that. If you've ran it before, that's a good way to do it. You get great loot from Duality too. Artifice armor, Storm Chaser, the SMG's great. There's 2 craftable weapons, the fixed odds, so you can do that as well. But yeah, instead of sitting here and looking through all these destinations in the director, because there's just yellow stars everywhere, it's like, okay, well, where do I start? I actually make a spreadsheet, because like I said, I'm a nerd like that. So here's what I've been doing to grind up to max power. Once I hit 1580 on all my characters, this dynamic kind of changes, and I ignore a lot of the pinnacles because I don't need them unless I'm like desperate to infuse like everything in my vault, but mind you, once you're 1580, powerfuls and pinnacles are equal, because powerfuls drop at your maximum average power level. And the hard cap is 1580, so pinnacles are not going to give you +1s or +2s. They're just going to give you the cap level, which is 1580. So anything that says powerful or pinnacle, once you're at 1580, you can do any of those, get 1580 gear, and start infusing stuff. I don't go crazy over it because I don't have enough upgrade modules and they're expensive. I just do, I try to infuse duplicate weapons. That way it doesn't cost modules as much as possible. But you can see here on my weekly checklist, I've also got red border drops that I try to get. This week is, they changed, last week they added that the first expedition you do each week across all characters. It doesn't give you one per character. It's just, if you start on Titan, it'll give you a red border. If you go to do it on Warlock, it's not. Like, it'll just, whatever character you start it and finish the expedition with, that's your only red border for the week. Same thing with the first focus weapon. They just added this today on reset because people have been complaining why we didn't have that option. We had that option in the last 2 seasons that once you at the table, there's an upgrade that you can get where the first weapon that you focus each week will be a guaranteed red border. So you can actually pick which weapon to focus. So like if you're at a 4 out of 5 patterns on tarnished metal and you just need one more red border and you don't want to rely on RNG, you don't feel like doing expedition or catch crash over and over and over and over again with bad luck, just go to the star chart table and you can upgrade it for free. Get the pattern for free, and then you've got your crafted weapon. So if you complete the weekly missions for the season, every week it tells you to go and speak to Spider, and you get to pick one of Spider's engrams. Like, he gives you the option between 3 different engrams. They all look exactly the same. First character you do it with, you get a guaranteed red border. If you go to do it on Warlock, Spider's going to tell you, hey, pick one of these engrams. You get it, you get nothing. You only got it on your first character. So if I got it on Titan, Warlock and Hunter aren't getting anything out of those engrams that Spider offers. Like, why offer it in the first place, Spider? But yeah, as I said, I do Catch Crash, Wellspring, Weekly Mission, Nightfall. I often ignore the Vanguard Ops unless I need to rank up with Zavala. Preservation is pretty quick and easy. You could do it solo or in a team in like 10 minutes. I don't do it all the time because it's been out for a couple seasons and it's kind of boring now. I don't usually do Gambit unless I'm desperate, like for some Gambit weapons or something. I don't usually do Vox. I just don't like the mission that much. King's Fall is like amazing for, at least it was amazing. Last week I did it. I did it for the first time on Titan, my very first run. Every single encounter, not these secret chests, but all 5 encounters gave me a pinnacle, and it was every slot of armor. So I got the full armor set, head to class item at 1580. So luck of the draw there. It's like one of the few times I got good RNG. But yeah, you get a lot of pinnacles from doing King's Fall, not to mention the weapons, red borders, spoils, and it's a free to play raid, so it's really easy to find groups to play with. I don't know the raid that well, but it's, as long as you're talking to people, like it's pretty easy to do. There's a secret chest you can do each week, and for Vow of the Disciple, if you don't like doing the raid, if you've never done it, well, you can actually just load into the raid by yourself, watch a YouTube video, you just take your Sparrow through the first Savathun ghost, kill her, and then you take your Sparrow You die a couple times, you get to the secret chest, you get some free raid loot and spoils. Kind of like the guaranteed red borders from the seasonal stuff. If you go to the spoil tables at the end of Vow the Disciple, you get a guaranteed red border each week. Across all 3 characters. You don't get it once. You don't get 3 red borders, you get 1. So I try to do at least 1 Rolk checkpoint on LFG every week. Whether it doesn't matter which character I use, just if I go and do it 1 time, beat Rolk, and then I go to the spoils table and I can get a red border. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully that helps, and yeah, and hopefully that kind of clears up some of the confusion. I wish Destiny would make things a little bit easier to understand, because especially for new players coming to this game, if they're not like a nerd that wants to sit down and crunch numbers and min-max and figure out, do like outside third-party research on how to play the game, I don't see why anybody would want to play this, unless they've been around since the beginning, or if you're a nerd like me. So hopefully that helps. I will catch you in the next video. Thanks.